Okay, we're going to try this one last time. And I'm not going to lie, the opening title sequence is pretty cool. I like the new UI. We're going to check that my mods are updated because I do have 2 mods installed. Dinosuchus and Utilities Plus. Okay, they are. So I'm just going to futz around a little bit. We'll talk about Ark. And what I think about it. I do enjoy how fast it loads. And I'm sad that my FPS counter is not loading on my record. I don't get great FPS, and of course I'm at nighttime. But I found and tamed an Ovis. Exciting. I'm averaging about 30 to 40 based on my settings. I've just got it mostly at medium plus settings, full screen, 1920 by 1080. The big things that I've got is I've got motion blur off. I don't know why any game ever includes motion blur. Nobody likes it. And for arc settings, I've got light bloom and light shafts both off. Light shafts are not so bad. Light bloom in arc has always been a bit blindy. And everything else is pretty standard. No, DLSS is on. UI is the UI. Camera, I don't care about. So yeah, look into my Ovis eye. I was searching for a saber-tooth cat, so that I could have something to go in caves with, and found an Ovis and couldn't say no. So I took him home, and I put a cake in his butt, and now we're friends. I made a little hut. I'm going with my standard shape. I will say that I am a huge fan of the lighting and the textures. There's my little salamander, and my little Lystrosaurus, my little puppy. I went out into the ocean for a while with this guy. I do really like the fire textures and, the... Do I have a... I do not. Torch on. Now I'll get one. Oh, I do have a torch on. The torch texture is really good. The light. You can put your torch on your belt, so you have illumination forward, and then you can have a torch out with a weapon. But that looks exceptionally dangerous. That just, I don't know. But the textures and stuff, when you get a certain distance away, the face gets a little choppy. But I mean, it looks better than Ark Survival Evolved. Here's my little camp. Made a little house. Got Terrence is with us. You guys remember Terrence? The lighting, I can't say anything bad about the lighting when it comes to this because we got illumination at night. I gotta take this off my crotch. Just because I don't need it at night. I mean, this is pretty illuminated. I got my RG. I got the starters for my people. And I'm in the same place that I was on the map. The map looks different. I like the new map UI. Though I will say, I do miss it being a book. I miss the kind of RP part of them having a little notebook, you know? Um, but yeah, partway through my adventure, I am level 96. I'm still super primitive because I unfortunately had the experience up really, really high while I was figuring out how do I get level whatever dinos? How do I get dinos and tames in increments of level 5? And that took a little bit. And what I ended up doing, I'll give you all. What I ended up doing was just going into the INI file and setting the difficulty offset with the difficulty override as we would do with Survival Evolved. It's the exact same INI file. Everything is exactly the same. I've increased the stacks for my prime meat. I did prime meat, prime fish, honey are increased in stacks. Nothing else though. I'm not using a mod for that because I don't want that mod to be outdated and my stacks to all be deleted. Because that's how it do. Mere poop. So yeah, I don't even know where to start. This was a baby. I killed its parent and then printed on the baby. That's why it's only level 30. But that's the start of the Carno army. The best time I've had so far was when I found this bear. Found him out in the wild. He was walking around. I built gates around him and then shot him in the face a bunch of times with trank arrows. He fell asleep, got really sleepy, and I fed him some prime meat. He became my friend. And then I realized there's no cryopods. I have no way to get you home. So we walked him home with the Argentavis because I couldn't pick him up. And I tamed him on the northeast corner of the redwoods and had to walk him all the way around. We killed an alpha raptor on the way. It was exciting. And my dude's a little bit short, and I have grass turned on because I like the effects. A lot of people are complaining about things you can do to change and improve the FPS. One of the ones is that they turn off the grass entirely. And it's like, okay, yeah, that'll fix the FPS, but look at this. Let me get my ghillie suit and I'll show you just how exactly I disappear. Hello, Ovis. It's how exactly I disappear. Where did I put it? Here it is. The ghillie suit is new. It's new and improved. I have helmets turned off because I want to show my beautiful face. But I mean, if you're in PvP and you've got grass turned on, no one's gonna see you. But people turn the grass off because they want that minute advantage in PvP. So they, you know, they turn the grass off so they can react 1 to 2 FPS faster. Now I'm getting 30 right now. And you can turn off the clouds and the volumetric fog, but I like all of that stuff. And my system is not a top tier system. It's 4 years old. I got it and I had it built in 2019. And it's a Ryzen 7 with a RTX 2070 from NVIDIA. And I think my graphics are doing pretty okay. So this is my single player. I think probably why I'm having a better time than a lot of people is I'm not playing multiplayer at the moment because I know wildcard and I don't trust it yet. So I turned off like I did in my previous series and in the multiplayer that I had with Joy and the bunch. Turned off the Titanosaur, turned him into an iguanodon, disabled the lead sickness, turned him into a dolphin. And then the one thing that I found out that was new and exciting was I don't even know how to say it, but the giant murder wasp that now lives in the swamps. You're level 35. I completely disabled them and I turned it into a frog. Because like even the dossier talks about how it's been mutated and experiments with genetic engineering, etc., and so forth. That wouldn't be at this part of the island because we're at the beginning of the story. There wouldn't be any weird genetic experiments going on in the island in the first week. Look at that Aurora Borealis. Principal Skinner would be so proud. He'd show that to Superintendent Chom. So, yeah. I've mostly been spending my time trying to locate the appropriate tames. I've had a hell of a time finding an appropriate Doedicurus in Anki. I spent a lot of time getting the game settings. Everything's a slider now for the most part. You would do this before you load the game. You can go into your settings, into your blah 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 settings. Here, I'll actually show you. Here, we're gonna go land. Nooblitz did a video on how to set it, and it didn't work for me. I'm sure it worked for him, I guess, because in his videos he's got his dinos in increments of 5. But I literally searched and went to his old video from Survival Evolved for how to get 150 dinos. Difficulty offset 1.2857, I believe, for the island or whatever it is. And difficulty override 5 in the INI file, which you can just edit with Notepad+. See, this is when it doesn't load the grass in properly. This is what PvPers see. So your ghillie suit's not going to do anything to protect you. But that's because they're a bunch of babies who don't know how to play. Anyway, let's check out... I want to show you this. There's some things that are different. In the game INI, so you've got your mod settings. This is where you have your mod list. The mods are incorporated into the program itself. You go under game rules and you could go to choose difficulty and it has you select. Just so you're aware, selecting hard difficulty will also set the creature spawn rate down to a very small amount. And you're going to have to change that back to a reasonable amount to get creatures to spawn. Because I spent my entire Sunday this weekend flying around wondering, why aren't there any tames out in the world? Because my max dino count was at like 0.5. I don't know why that's considered hard. But there's a way to set it so the Player rules. No. You do choose difficulty hard, and one of these settings in your, I don't know, you can look it up. But do the one from the Survival Evolved video from New Blitz, where he gives you the difficulty offset and the difficulty override. Set the difficulty offset, add the line for difficulty override because it's not in the INI file normally, and you're set. Then do a Dino White, and you're all set. Okay? All you gotta do. Get back in. I like how fast it loads. I really do like how fast it loads. That's like 35 times faster than Survival Evolved ever loaded. But still the same, the same sets of problems that we always had in Ark. Same bugs carried over because it's the same game, just in Unreal 5. They did change, they changed, the textures are beautiful. The game is beautiful. I'm not gonna say that it's not. No more two-dimensional plants. The lighting is really smart. Like when you go into a shaded area at night, or even during the day, it's a lot darker. But we've got illumination at night, which we never had. In Ark Survival Evolved, nighttime was always just stupid pitch black. So everybody would always have night go by much faster. Now you don't have to. Now you can actually do shit at night. They added some little caves and crags around the world in some places. I did notice that level 5 berry. I did notice that up in the ice region up north, there's a couple spots where you've got like some icy ravines that are mostly covered. Those would be good for little no entry bases. Ooh, beaver dam. Wonder if they fixed this yet. If they fixed bodies dropping after they die. And somehow my damage numbers got turned off. And I'm not able to turn it back on. But yeah, corpses float when killed in air now, which is kind of cool, I guess. I always forget that beavers spawn here. And I'm always desperate for, like, haste, so let's rob them. Oh. Any coming to attack me? Beavers? None? Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you got killed inevitably by whatever was in the water. At least your home is now mine. But anyway, I want to talk about Survival Ascended and some of my issues with it in general, and why I am not recommending it to people, even though I think it's cool and it runs pretty well for me. I mean, again, knock on Formica, I haven't really had a lot of instability. I had a couple crashes over the weekend. Basic, your basic Unreal pop-up error messages. And that was it. Everybody says that it runs like shit. And I think a lot of what it is that it's because they're playing multiplayer and they're running it on Nitrado because they have to run it on Nitrado. But thanks to Netty, the Noodle, and a number of other content creators, threatening Snail Games and Wildcard. They got a lot of their policies about who, like the local host, being able to host your own. They got a lot of that stuff changed so that you're able to local host uh, as much as you want. They put in a lot of underpasses like this around the map, which is pretty cool. This is a genuine remake of the game as far as the map is concerned. They rewrote it, redesigned it with the same map basics in mind, but there's some differences and some changes. Sure you'll all find as you're exploring. But as far as some of the reasons why I don't recommend it, it's just the island for right now, which I understand. I totally get. And I support them releasing it when they did, because it made it better sense for everyone for them to stick with their October schedule. Like, they had to stick with it, otherwise they were gonna screw over a bunch of people. Level are you? Level 10? Come on, man. Come on, Froggy, help me. So they did release it with just, you know, with just the island, which is, again, fine, but I really hate this map. It is so boring, and so my least favorite. I wanted at least like the center or Ragnarok. And I get that that all takes time. Like, I'm not, and I know that we're going to be getting the DLCs. So, like, all the DLC maps, but because Snail Games needs a way to fully monetize everything, I don't disagree with the price point of the game, but I'm telling you, I know that they're going to do a game that they're going to say, okay, these DLCs now available on Game Pass for $30 when they're supposed to be included. Actually, let's look at something here. We're gonna go to the Steam page. I'm gonna look at the store page and see what it says. Why early access? We expect to be in early access until the end of 2024. That said, as we are further down the development path, we'll share continued updates and help define more specific development. In addition to the island, we plan to have the following content available remade in Unreal Engine 5: Survival of the Fittest, Battle Royale, Scorched Earth, Aberration, Extinction, Genesis Part 1, Genesis Part 2. We also plan to have the previously released free DLC available: The Center, Ragnarok, Valgero, Crystal Isles, Lost Island, and Fjordur. Each of these respective maps will receive one completely new creature nominated by the community. We also plan to add new original story content to ASA that will be tied to future story-themed DLC, as well as new gameplay and content additions to the overall product that isn't available on day one. Notice how that said, here, I gotta, bear with me a moment. I'm gonna put my display on here. This is what I just read to you, okay? They will have the following content available. That doesn't mean that it's included. in what we have purchased. Yeah, I gave it a thumbs down. It is not included. It will be available. They plan to have the previously released free DLC available for the free maps. And those, I believe, because they're not story maps, that they will have those as free. But I'm fully expecting a season pass for us to get these maps. And that's going to be super shitty. Because Snail Games is horribly managed. And the only reason why we had to pay for this now, and then it wasn't going to be bundled and included with Arc 2, is because Snail Games lost a bunch of money on an electric vehicle venture. Diplocalis. Good day, Diplos. They dumped a staggering pile of Arc profit into an electric vehicle enterprise. That failed. I don't think they ever even got a prototype made. I know that they had plans for it and that they had like a design for it. And maybe they got a prototype made. But it failed. They had no money. So, in an effort to continue with their momentum and be able to continue this moneymaker that they have, is ERC, they've now decided to pay, charge for Survival Advanced or Survival Ascended. I keep saying Advanced. Survival Ascended, which, seeing the game, seeing as it is in a complete remake, I don't disagree with that. However, it's kind of shitty to do. That's all. I find this map to be tedious and exhausting. I much prefer Scorched Earth and Aberration, even Extinction. I even prefer Genesis 1. Or sweet Genesis 1 to the island. I just don't like it. I don't like it. And so here I've been for a week now, flying around, searching for games. That's the part of the game that I'm at. I heard you there, Spino. You weren't at all quiet. Oh Lord. 25. Could go to that's the part of the game that I'm at, is I am wanting to build my compound. I want to build my tower, right? And then I want to build a treehouse. But to do that, I need a lot of stone. And I'm not going to be harvesting stone by hand. And we don't have Genesis, so there's no mining drill. There's no fish nets. There's no fish basket. There's no canoe. There's no mining drill. None of that. I'm sure it's coming or will be reworked. And before you say it, yes, I know that there's mods that added cryopods. I know that there's mods that are adding blah, blah, and blah. I've never really been a fan of mods, for the most part. And the only side note while we're here, the only time I've had any graphical glitches is in these volumetric clouds bumping up with the volumetric fog. Is when it goes all glitchy. This is what the volumetric fog looks like. That. So great. Goodbye, FPS. So I'm sure we're gonna end up loving it and enjoying this. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but it's so tedious on the island map just because of the way that the spawns are spread out. Every other single map, when it comes to like the resource tames and just combat tames in general, like when you're looking for Rexes, there's maybe 5 or 6 good spots on the island for Rexes. And I'm even on Scorched Earth. There's Rexes everywhere. There's no Rexes on Aberration. Um Extinction, Rexes everywhere. The island has always been kind of a shit show for spawns, for finding good tames. It takes quite a bit of time. And when you're playing solo, either in multiplayer or in single player, it's just there's a lot of time flying around. Just trying to find something. But I am glad that I got my spawn levels normalized. So that I could at least have something. Diplo, Toronto, and everything on the island is also a really shitty level. But the best way to really work on getting higher levels is you kill the low level spawns until a high level spawn pops up, or you luck out and get a high level spawn. But every time I've seen a saber cat, which is what I want to bring into, see, I got some allosaurs. 15. Land somewhere. Actually, look at your level. Every time I've seen a saber cat, it's been in the middle of combat with 150 mammoths. So level 55, 35. I did have some good level, high level allosaurs in the river, but I wasn't able to out torpor them with my unleveled crossbow. I haven't done the resource harvesting to be able to have a sufficient supply of bullets, because again, I don't have a Doedicurus, I don't have an Anki. I can't easily go get those. I'm also getting some issues with resource spawning. There's known issues that have always been a concern with single player with the resource spawning. Is basically if you harvest a resource like rocks or a tree, and then you quit the game, close out of the game, or it crashes before that node has respawned naturally, then it breaks, and it takes, I'm just throwing it out there, 100 times longer for it to respawn, unless you go in and you make refertilizer. You go to the place where it's supposed to spawn, you sprinkle your refertilizer around, and you have to change from single player to a non-dedicated session for a bit, and that causes the node to respawn eventually. The other thing that you could do is you could vastly increase the resource spawn rates or lower the spawn distance, but then you basically create instant respawning resources, and at that point, why don't you just use admin commands to spawn them in? I want to harvest them and go on my merry way and go and do something else while the game ticks the timer down and then respawns it the next time I come in. And that's kind of the problem with single player, and that's always been a problem with Ark with single player, is that if that node is gone when the game closes, the system forgets that it should be respawning. Now, I do like the new light effects around the new supply drops, and I like how cool they look. But I think also in part of my hard difficulty settings, it pooped up the quality of the drops. Because I keep getting building materials that I don't care about. But I will take some stew. Fifth raptor. And then I'm also getting a couple when the night to day is changing and the shaders are changing. I am getting this happening everywhere. Where it's just... I think it's conflicting and overlapping, and there it fixed it. Conflicting and overlapping night and day shaders. That might just be unique to me. Here we are. What is the rarest creature in Ark? The one you're looking for. Anki, Dodicarus, Sabercat. That's who I'm looking for. Because I need a creature that is going to be small enough, body small enough that can go into the caves. Because again, no cryopods. See, there's a Sabercat. You're probably level 2. You're level 100. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna do this. Sure that there's... Damn, I'm so far from home. Don't jump off the mountain, kitten. You know what? Where'd you go? There you are. Can I... Of course you're gonna attack me ruthlessly. And it's... Of course the weather's gonna come in. Can I put you in this... I do have prime meat. Okay, we're gonna do this. Your cat. Oh. I know, kitten. We're gonna be friends. We're gonna be friends real soon. That's not what I intended to do, but that was. Pretty bloody. We'll give him a cooldown. It's probably gonna kill him. I actually have this from a mod. Check. Oh no, he's... Getting down. Okay. Like my dead arrows. So yeah, one of the mods that I did get was it's a utilities plus. It's kind of a smart reusables mod. So you get unlimited bolas, and it gave me a super spyglass, which is really helpful when taming. But I haven't really gotten shit for blueprints. I've gotten a couple items from drops that are great. I haven't been able to go in caves at all. So hopefully, if this guy wakes up with decent health... He doesn't tell me what his health... It tells me what the health number... Oh, 21 is the wild level. Okay. So that is stamina... Yeah, it should be... It should be serviceable. I'll just have to go slow. Caves. I wonder if I could get a whole group. See, it's balancing, like, do I want dire wolves because they get a pack bonus, but they don't have any armor, or do I want a saber cat that gets armor? You gotta remember, we're doing this basically vanilla, which Ark hasn't been vanilla unless you're on official in 8 years. Okay, your eating is 7. Oh yeah, 7 will be plenty. You have a couple left over. Okay, will do. See, all you gotta do is hunt for multiple things at once, and chances are you'll find one of them. But yeah, like I want to build a full compound. I want to have my tower. I want to have a greenhouse. I want to have dinos for breeding so that I can do boss kills. Gonna have to get Rexes, Therazinos, maybe Allosaurs, maybe Rhinos. But while I'm excited about where Survival Ascended, remember where Survival Ascended is going, because it's Ark, I'm also kind of just, I could go back to playing Survival Evolved and just play Unfjorder, which was great, which I enjoyed immensely. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the recording for right now. I just wanted to drop some thoughts and etc. about Ark. If you're a diehard Ark fan, get it. If you have friends who are playing it, get it. It's like $40 right now because it's on sale. And I think today is the last day of the sale. Oh shit, that means that this won't be on sale tomorrow when this posts on YouTube. Still, 45, not terrible for a full remake of the game. I haven't seen caves yet. I'm not sure what it's like in caves. buy it with the understanding that it is an early access, unfinished product with one map, and we have no timeline for when other maps are coming, other than the fact that it's going to be leaving early access, air quote, leaving early access, end of 2024. So do with that what you will with that information. Make an informed decision that benefits you. And maybe I will continue. Maybe I'll just play. Maybe I'll stream again and we'll stream some Ark. I don't know. There's so many people streaming Ark and making content. Ugh, YouTube is gross. Okay. Bye. I'll see you guys next week.